1 year of language learning is done and another year begins. Will it be successful? I don't know. First, in order to properly make my 2023 goals, I need to review my 2022 goals. So how did they go? Overall, I'm very happy with what I did in 2022 in terms of succeeding with my goals. I failed quite a lot of them, but I'm happy with the effort I did put in. This definitely sounds like changing the goalposts after it happens, but I am very happy with the ones I did succeed at because those were my highest priority ones. It makes sense that the ones that I failed in, I was not that into. Let's go through them one by one. The one I'm most proud of this year is my kanji goal. I went from knowing, about 630 kanji to being able to know 1,000 kanji. For me, that's a huge improvement because finally the number I know is in 4 digits, which is a totally arbitrary number, but it feels really good for me on my way to knowing all of them. I fell behind in my goal quite a lot this year, but I was able to quadruple up in November and December and do 4 a day, 8 a day in order to catch up with my goal. I'm glad I didn't make my goal do 1 kanji per day because once I fell off that train, I would have never got back on, but because it's accumulating, I was able to catch up. My Turkish goal, I blew out of the water. I just told myself I wanted to do a 30-day output challenge, and that went totally well really early in the year. But because of that, I got a lot of inspiration and I really wanted to learn Turkish deeper. So I started taking weekly lessons on italki, and I feel a huge improvement ever since. So I just wanted to do some sort of maintenance this year, and I ended up pushing my Turkish, to the next level. I think at the beginning of this year, I was like maybe A2, or really rusty A2, but I think now pretty confidently I feel very B1. My Korean goal was to do a lot of listening. I told myself I wanted to do 6 hours of listening per month, which ended up being about 12 minutes per day. I was successful with the beginning part of this year from January to April. I think I failed February by like just a few minutes or maybe like 1 hour. So still, even the months that I failed, I'm very happy that I did very well. I did fall off the train when some life changes happened in the middle of the year, but I'm still very happy that I did quite a lot of listening this year, and I do feel a lot of benefits from that incomplete goal. So overall, this goal was a failure, but I'm really happy with what I did do. Russian was an absolute failure. I told myself to do a 30-day output challenge just like Turkish. It never happened. So it's just a total failure all around. Chinese was a half success. I told myself I wanted to do research, find a really good textbook, and then do 1 chapter per month. I found a really good textbook that I'm really happy with, but I did not do 1 chapter a month. I think I completed 1 just because they were so long. 1 month was not enough for me. So once I fell off that train, I never got back on. So Chinese is a failure, but with a lot of lessons learned. My Bulgarian goal was to make myself a little bit more literate and to kind of polish my language quite a lot through reading. And I did pretty well. I got pretty far in the book. I wanted to complete the book this year, but I didn't complete it. It was a failure, but a failure where what I did do was very good. French was an absolute failure. I forgot I even had this goal. It was to write 10 sentences per month and post it online. I totally forgot about this, and I didn't even do this 1 single month. Absolute failure. German had a similar goal to Turkish. I wanted a 30-day output challenge. I did not do it, but I think I got a lot of other passive German benefits this year, and overall I'm happy with my German, even though I absolutely failed the goal I had for myself. Swedish, I totally forgot I had this goal. The goal was to read 1 article in Swedish and do 1 hour of listening per month. I honestly forgot I had this goal, and I absolutely failed it. My Spanish was a half success. The goal was to do 1 section in my UTalk app per month, and I did do that for the first part of the year, but when the life changes happened, that stopped. So again, a failure, but a failure where what I did do was good. What are some of the lessons I learned from this year? I learned I'm really lazy about logging hours. I have a beautiful spreadsheet for logging all of the minutes I do everything and what specific activity it is. Is it writing? Is it video games? Is it listening? I have a really good place to put all that, but I didn't like logging everything like it's a job. I just wanted to have fun. So once I stopped logging things, I don't really have much measurement of what I did. So for future reference, I need to either stop being lazy or adjust how I'm keeping track of minutes and hours. I also learned that I forgot a lot of these resolutions. I totally forgot I had a French and Swedish resolution until I revisited my old video to make this video. So I need to have a better project management system where I kind of remind myself that this is upcoming, I need to do this, and kind of break things down into tasks better. I also learned flexible is very good for me. Accumulative goals are very good for me. Kanji was my biggest success this year, and I think it was because it was a flexible, accumulative goal. Even though I seemed to have failed it in the middle of the year and stopped doing daily kanji, I was able to catch up at the end. So a lot of effort at the end made up for my laziness in the middle. So 2023 is here. What are my goals for 2023? Well, let me break it down for you. I'm breaking things up into high priority, medium priority, and low priority goals. For high priority goals, these are for languages I have a very specific image of where I want to be in a year. And so these goals are helping me get to that image of myself. A lot of people make really bad goals and say, oh, I want to improve my French. I want to be able to speak to someone. That's not the goal. This is kind of the dream of mine. And based off that dream, I'm creating a goal. For Japanese, my very specific dream is that I want to complete my kanji book by the end of 2024. And to do that, I think I need to hit 1,500. I did 365 this year, so I think pushing myself to 500 is something that I can do, but is challenging. It's pushing me past something I wouldn't have done otherwise. So if I want to get to 1,500 by the end of the year, that works out to be like 42 per month or about 1.36 per day. So I'll be doing 1 per day, and every few days I'll be doing 2. If I fall behind, that's all right, because I've created checkpoints for myself. At the end of every month, I want to see where I should be so that I don't have like 6 months where I do nothing and then I have to overcompensate. By the end of January, I need to get to 1,042. By the end of February, 1,084. By the end of March, 1,126, and so on. Another high priority language for me is Turkish, and the specific goal for Turkish is actually the same as Korean. I really want to be able to understand more speakers, more diverse group of speakers, so I need to improve my listening. So I'm going to be doing the same goal I had for Korean last year, and that's to do 6 hours of listening per month. That works out to about 12 minutes per day, which is totally within the realm of possibility. If I don't do 12 a day, maybe I could watch a movie on the weekend. It's totally reasonable, but also pushing me past what I would have otherwise done. And even if I fail this goal, I think 5 hours per month is still a huge success compared to 0. Turkish and Korean are the same, 6 hours per month. Then there are the medium priority languages. These are going to be languages that I want to generally improve, but I don't have such big ambitions and specific ideas of where I want to be. French is one of those languages, and for me, I think something super beneficial for me would be to complete 1 video game by the end of the year. Knowing how much time I have for things like video games, I think it is reasonable to make that a yearly goal and not like a monthly one. But at the same time, I think I'll be getting a lot of really good word structures. I think also something that would be a really nice challenge this year would be to play a game that I've never played before, so I actually don't know the story. So far, when I play video games, I already know the story, so I'm not completely lost. Now I'm going to try to figure out what's going on in a foreign language. My German goal is absolutely the same. I want to complete 1 game by the end of the year. Again, general increase in my language while fitting it into the time that I have. My Bulgarian goal is actually the same from last year, plus a little more. I want to complete that book that I did not complete. Plus, I want to add a history textbook that is for like 10th graders that I think would be really beneficial for me and my Bulgarian to, have more, educational, more, high class language. while also being interesting to me, I think. Then there are the low priority languages. These are languages that I just want to maintain. These goals are just for, if I don't do this, I'll do nothing. So this is kind of like a bare minimum. This is the amount of time I can dedicate to these languages, and that's about it. Russian and Spanish have the same goal, and I want to do one movie in Russian every 2 months, and I want to do one movie in Spanish every 2 months. I think this is reasonable for maintaining. I choose this because I don't think I have any time for more. I could say I want to do 6 hours of Russian per month, but that's just not reasonable with the time I have. So I think one movie per 2 months is something in the realm of possibility, but I wouldn't have done that if I didn't make this goal. Ditto for Spanish. Chinese is now definitely my weakest language. I think Swedish, Turkish, and Chinese used to be tied for my weakest, but now it's absolutely Chinese alone in that last spot. So I really want to focus on grammar, and to do that, I need to work on that textbook I found. I think one chapter per month is way too much for me. A more reasonable goal for me would be like one section in the textbook, one unit in the textbook. It's smaller than a chapter, but I am doing something that I wouldn't have done otherwise. My Swedish goal is going to be actually easier than the one I made last year. I told myself to read an article and do an hour of listening per month. Now that I'll keep track of these goals and I won't forget that I made them, I want to read an article of Swedish per month or an hour of listening. I think that's much more reasonable with the time that I have, and I think that's within the realm of possibility for me. Something I realized I didn't mention about all of these goals is that when I say per month, my true goal is an accumulative one. So it's not a failure if I don't do it all in January. I can catch up in February. That's totally fine with me. It's not a failure in my book. So when I say one Swedish article per month, I actually mean 12 articles per year. And if I, fall behind, I can push at the end of the year. Of course, it would be nice to, spread it out, and that's what I'm going to try to do with better project management through the year, setting reminders, setting due dates, but we will see how this goes. I am really excited for this year. I am very focused on my very specific goals. I am a pretty busy person, so this is going to be really difficult for me, but I think at the end of this year, I see myself at the end of this year really having improved my Turkish, Korean, and Japanese. I'm super excited for those. But I leave the door open for another inspiration to come this year, another excitement, in the same way that Turkish wasn't a priority for me in 2022, but it became one just because I got so engrossed. I just had to learn more, and I wanted to seize on that excitement. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Are these goals attainable? What are your goals? Please share them in the comments so that we keep each other accountable. I think that would be great. You can follow me on my social, which are going to be linked in the description below. If you've liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Also, be sure to check out my website at studywithalex.com, where I recently wrote a blog article about 8 language resolutions that you will actually complete this year, where I write about some suggestions for language resolutions that are much more effective than the ones that I see a lot of people doing online. So if you don't have any ideas of what to do, check out that article, which I will link at the top of the description below. Thank you for watching today. I wish you all a very happy 2023. I hope your languages are fluent and fluid and natural this year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. All right, mutlu yıllar.